Commander Tae-ho Kim stood on the bridge of the UES horizon, watching the massive alien ships appear on his screens. 12 other human ships flew behind him, all the ships Earth had in space. It was not much compared to what he saw ahead. The alien fleet was huge. Hundreds of ships filled the dark space, each one bigger than his largest vessel. Their designs were strange and beautiful. Some looked like crystal towers, others like metal flowers, and some had shapes that hurt to look at. "Sir, we're getting a message," said Communications Officer Hya-Jin Park. She was young but smart, chosen to speak for all of Earth if things went well. "Put it through," Tae-ho said. A face appeared on the main screen. It had 4 eyes and skin that changed colors like oil on water. "I am Admiral Kethmar of the Veltari Republic," it said in perfect English. "You are the humans we have heard about. Your ships are small." Tae-ho kept his face calm. "We come in peace. We want to learn about the galaxy and maybe trade with your people." Another alien joined the conversation. This one looked like a giant insect made of metal. "I am War Leader Thekros of the Bextar Empire. Your weapons are weak. Your ships are few. What can you offer us?" Before Tae-ho could answer, alarms started ringing. Lieutenant So-Young Lee at the weapons station called out, "Sir! Unknown ships coming fast! They're attacking something!" On the screen, they could see a mining station under attack. Small, fast ships swarmed around it like angry bees. The station's defenses were failing. "Pirates," Admiral Kethmar said with disgust. "The Rakshan Horde. They attack our mining operations." Tae-ho made a quick decision. "All ships, this is the commander. We're going to help them." "Sir," Lieutenant Minho Jung from Tactical said, "there are 30 pirate ships. We only have 13. "Then we better be smart about it," Tae-ho replied. "So-Young, send the attack plan to all ships. Minho, coordinate with Captain Nam on the Soul's Pride. We're going in." The human ships moved toward the battle. The aliens watched in surprise as the small Earth fleet charged toward a much larger enemy force. Captain Ji-hoon Nam's destroyer Soul's Pride led the attack. His ship was fast and deadly, striking the pirate ships from behind while they focused on the station. The pirates turned to fight, but the humans were ready. "Target their engines first," Tae-ho ordered. "Make them slow, then finish them." The battle was fierce. Human ships moved in patterns the aliens had never seen before. When one ship was damaged, another would take its place. When pirates surrounded a human vessel, the others would attack from a different angle. Lieutenant Minho Jung's tactical skills showed their worth. He found weak spots in the pirate formations and told the fleet where to strike. "Captain Lee, 3 pirates at your 2 o'clock. Captain Park, cover her left side." The pirates fought back hard. They were experienced fighters who had attacked many ships before, but they had never fought humans. When Captain So-Young Lee's ship took heavy damage, she did something that shocked everyone watching. Instead of retreating, she flew straight at the largest pirate ship. Her vessel slammed into its side, destroying both ships, but saving the mining station. "So-Young!" Tae-ho shouted, but it was too late. His friend was gone. The remaining pirates panicked. They had expected easy prey, but these humans fought like demons. Some tried to run, but the human ships were faster. Others tried to surrender, but only after most of their fleet was destroyed. When the battle ended, 12 human ships remained. Many were damaged, and good people had died. But the pirates were defeated. The alien fleet arrived just as the fighting finished. Admiral Kethmar's ship came close to the horizon. "Commander Kim," he said, and his voice was different now. "We did not expect this." "Expect what?" Tae-ho asked. "You sacrificed your own ships to save beings you had just met. Your Captain Lee died for people she did not know. This is not normal in our galaxy." War Leader Thekros added, "Your tactics were strange but effective. You fight with honor but also with cleverness. Most species do one or the other, not both." Tae-ho looked at the damaged mining station. Human ships were already helping with repairs. His medical teams were treating wounded aliens alongside their own people. "We help those who need help. It's what we do." "Even your enemies?" asked a third alien, this one looking like a walking tree. "We saw you treating captured pirates." "They're prisoners now, not enemies. We don't hurt prisoners." The aliens looked at each other. In their experience, most species were either weak and peaceful or strong and violent. Humans seemed to be both strong and peaceful at the same time. "We would like to know more about your people," Admiral Kethmar said. "Perhaps we can trade, as you suggested." "We would like that," Tejo replied. Over the next few hours, the aliens learned more about humans. They discovered that Earth was far from the main trade routes, that humans were new to space travel, and that the 13 ships they had seen were Earth's entire space navy. "Only 13 ships?" War Leader Thekros asked. "How do you defend your world?" "We have more ships near Earth," Tejo said, "but most of our defenses are on the planet itself." This was not entirely true, but it was not entirely false either. Earth did have defenses, but Tejo did not want to explain how different human warfare was from what the aliens expected. "We invite you to visit our capital world," Admiral Kethmar said. "The Coalition Council would like to meet your leaders." "The Coalition?" Heejin Park asked. 17 species working together for trade and protection. "We have been watching your species since you first left your solar system. Today proved that humans might be valuable allies." As the alien fleet prepared to leave, Tejo looked at his damaged ships and thought about Captain So-Young Lee's sacrifice. The galaxy was bigger and more dangerous than Earth had imagined, but it was also full of opportunity. "Set course for Earth," he told his navigator. "We have a lot to report." Behind them, the aliens discussed what they had seen. The humans were interesting. Small in number, but fierce in battle. Weak in technology, but strong in spirit. They might be worth knowing better. None of them realized that Earth had been preparing for this meeting for longer than they thought. The 13 ships were just the beginning. 6 months had passed since the first meeting between humans and the Galactic Coalition. Admiral Dongwu Choi now commanded 3 human fleets with 47 ships total. The Earth forces had spread across several star systems, helping with trade protection and pirate hunting. The aliens were starting to understand that humans were different from other species they knew. Dr. Yun-Su Kang worked with Coalition scientists on the research station Harmony Point. She shared human medical knowledge freely, helping to cure diseases that had troubled alien worlds for centuries. "Your immune systems are remarkable," said Dr. Veleth, a Veltari scientist. "How do humans fight off so many different infections?" Yunsu smiled. "We evolved on a world full of dangerous germs and viruses. Our bodies learned to fight everything." Meanwhile, Captain Ji-Hoon Nam patrolled the frontier in his ship Incheon Striker. His crew had become famous among traders for their quick response to pirate attacks. They moved fast and hit hard, then vanished before enemy reinforcements could arrive. "Human ships are like ghosts," one trader told another. "They appear when you need help, fight like demons, then disappear into space." The Coalition had offered humans better weapons and faster ships, but Admiral Dongwu had politely refused most of the upgrades. "Our ships work well enough," he had said. "We prefer to use what we know." This puzzled the aliens. Most species grabbed any chance to improve their technology. Humans seemed happy with their simpler but reliable equipment. The peace was broken when long-range sensors detected a massive fleet moving toward Coalition space. Intelligence reports identified them as the Zephyrian Empire, a group of militaristic species that had refused to join the Coalition years ago. Commander Eugene Seo ran Earth's intelligence operations from a hidden base in the asteroid belt. Her people had been watching Zephyrian movements for weeks. What they found was terrifying. 800 ships, she reported to Admiral Dongwu over a secure channel. "They're not just raiding. This is a full invasion." The Zephyrian Empire had been building their fleet in secret for 10 years. Their ships were bigger and more powerful than most Coalition vessels. Their soldiers were trained for conquest, not just defense. The first Coalition fleet that met them was destroyed completely. Only 3 ships escaped to tell what happened. The survivors described weapons that could crack a planet's crust and ships that seemed immune to normal attacks. "They hit us like a hammer," reported Captain Veltris of the Coalition destroyer Bright Star. "Our weapons barely scratched their hulls. Their weapons went through our shields like they weren't there." The Coalition Council met in emergency session. Representatives from 17 species argued about what to do. Some wanted to surrender. Others wanted to fight. All of them were scared. Admiral Dongwu attended the meeting as Earth's representative. He listened to the debates and the fear in their voices. When they asked for his opinion, he was direct. "How many ships can you gather?" he asked. Maybe 200, if we pull everything from patrol duties, answered Coalition Fleet Admiral Rentok. That's not enough, Dongwu said. The Zephyrians have 4 times that number, and their ships are stronger. Then what do you suggest? Asked the Veltari ambassador. We make them split their fleet, hit their supply lines, make them chase us instead of conquering planets. The aliens looked doubtful. That's a good plan for slowing them down, but how do we actually win? We buy time, Dongwu said. Time for reinforcements to arrive. What reinforcements? Admiral Rentok asked. This is everyone we have. Dongwu didn't answer directly. Instead, he sent a coded message back to Earth. The Zephyrian advance continued. They captured 3 star systems in 2 weeks. Millions of beings were enslaved or killed. The Coalition's scattered response was not enough to stop them. Commander, Eugene Seo's intelligence network discovered the Zephyrians' next target, New Geneva, a peaceful world with over 2 billion people. The planet had only light defenses and no major military bases. They'll reach New Geneva in 4 days, Eugene reported. The Coalition can't get a defense fleet there in time. Admiral Dongwu made a decision that would change galactic history. He ordered all 3 human fleets to converge on New Geneva, 47 ships against 800. The odds were impossible. Sir, Captain Myung-Soo Park of the heavy cruiser Daigu's Hammer asked over the fleet communication channel, Are we really going to fight them alone? We're not alone, Dongwu replied. 2 billion people are counting on us. That makes us stronger than any odds. The human fleet moved toward New Geneva at maximum speed. Along the way, they picked up every refugee ship and transport they could find. Captain Soo-Jin Lee's fast attack squadron escorted civilian vessels while the main fleet prepared for battle. The coalition leaders were amazed and horrified. Admiral Choi is committing suicide, said war leader Thekros. 47 ships. Cannot stop 800. Maybe they can't win, replied Admiral Kethmar. But they're going to try. That's what makes humans different from the rest of us. Dr. Yun-Soo Kang was on one of the refugee ships heading away from the battle zone. She watched the human fleet forming up for combat and felt proud of her people. They know they might die, she told a young Veltari refugee, but they're doing it anyway. As the human ships took their positions around New Geneva, Admiral Dongwu sent a message to Earth. It was short and simple. Send everything. The response came back just as short. Already on the way. Captain Ji-Hoon Nam's Incheon striker was the first to spot the Zephyrian fleet. 800 ships in perfect formation, their hulls black as space itself. They moved like a dark cloud across the stars. All ships, this is Admiral Choi, Dongwu's voice came over the communication system. Remember what we're fighting for, not just the people on this planet, but everyone in the galaxy who wants to live free. Today we show them what humans can do. The Zephyrian commander, Admiral Vexthor, looked at his scanner readings with amusement. 47 ships? Have these humans gone insane? Shall we demand their surrender? Asked his second-in-command. No, Vexthor replied. Let's see how long they last. It might be entertaining. As the 2 fleets moved toward each other, neither side knew that Earth had been preparing for this moment since the first alien contact. The 47 ships at New Geneva were just the beginning. In space docks around Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, massive construction projects were nearing completion. Projects that would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. But first, the small human fleet had to survive long enough for help to arrive. The Battle of New Geneva began at dawn, local time. Admiral Dongwu Choi positioned his 47 ships in a defensive sphere around the planet. He knew they could not win against 800 Zephyrian vessels, but they could make the enemy. Pay for every mile of space. Remember, he told his fleet commanders, we're not here to destroy them all. We're here to protect the planet until help arrives. Captain Myung-Soo Park's heavy cruiser, Daigu's Hammer, anchored the main battle line. His ship carried the heaviest weapons in the human fleet. Around him, destroyers and frigates took positions like a steel net around New Geneva. Commander Soo-Jin Lee led the fast attack squadrons. Her ships were smaller but quicker, designed to hit enemy formations and escape before they could respond. We're the Wasps, she told her pilots. Sting them and fly away. The Zephyrian fleet approached in perfect formation. Their ships were larger than anything humans had built, with armor that gleamed like black metal. Admiral Vexthor commanded, from his flagship, a massive dreadnought called the Void Crusher. "Begin the attack," Vexthor ordered. "Show these insects what real power looks like." The first Zephyrian wave hit the human defense line like a hammer. Energy weapons lit up space with deadly colors. Human ships scattered and regrouped, using their speed to avoid the heaviest fire. Captain Jae-Sung Kim's destroyer Ulsan Defender took a direct hit that cracked his hull in 3 places. Instead of retreating, he turned toward the nearest Zephyrian cruiser. "All hands, prepare for ramming speed!" "Sir," his weapons officer protested, "we can still fight." "Not for long," Kim replied, watching his ship's systems fail one by one. "But we can take one of them with us." The Ulsan Defender smashed into the Zephyrian cruiser's engine section. Both ships exploded in a ball of fire that lit up the darkness. The explosion was so bright that people on New Geneva could see it with their naked eyes. Lieutenant Commander Mi Young-shin found herself alone against 5 Zephyrian fighters. Her small patrol ship Dancing Star was fast but lightly armed. She used the asteroid field around New Geneva like a 3-dimensional maze, leading the enemy ships into collisions with space rocks. "Come on," she whispered to her ship. "Just a little faster." One by one, the Zephyrian fighters crashed into asteroids or lost her in the maze. When the last one exploded, Mi Young realized she was shaking. She had never been so scared or so proud at the same time. The battle raged for 6 hours. Human ships fought with desperate creativity. When their weapons failed, they rammed enemy vessels. When their shields fell, they used debris as cover. When they were outnumbered, they scattered and regrouped. Admiral Dongwu's flagship Earth's Resolve came under concentrated fire from 3 Zephyrian cruisers. His bridge crew fought to keep the ship together as explosions rocked the hull. "Sir, we've lost engines and main weapons," reported his tactical officer. "Life support is failing." Dongwu looked at the tactical display. The human fleet was down to 23 ships. The Zephyrians had lost only 30 vessels. At this rate, the defense would collapse within hours. "Transfer fleet command to Captain Bay on the Soul Thunder," he ordered. "I'm taking a boarding party to their command ship." "Sir, that's suicide," his second-in-command protested. "Maybe," Dongwu replied, putting on his combat armor. "But if I can disrupt their communications, it might give us a chance." While Dongwu led his desperate mission, help arrived from an unexpected source. Colonel Sang Ho-oh's voice came over the emergency channel. "Admiral, this is Strike Team 7. We've been busy behind enemy lines." On the main display, they could see Zephyrian supply ships exploding in the distance. Sang Ho's special forces had been inserted on captured worlds weeks ago. They had spent their time sabotaging fuel depots and ammunition storage facilities. "Their logistics are collapsing," Sang Ho reported. "Half their fleet is running low on power and ammunition." This news changed everything. The Zephyrians had expected a quick victory. Now they faced a prolonged battle with limited supplies. Admiral Vexthor was furious. "How did human soldiers get behind our lines? Our security was perfect." "Apparently, not perfect enough," his intelligence officer replied nervously. The tide of battle began to turn. Zephyrian ships started to withdraw to conserve ammunition. Human vessels pressed their advantage, targeting the enemy's weakest formations. Captain Hyun-woo Bae, now in command of the human fleet, coordinated the counterattack. "All ships focus fire on their supply vessels. Make every shot count." Meanwhile, Admiral Dongwu's boarding party had reached the Zephyrian command ship. Fighting through armored corridors, they battled toward the bridge. The close combat was brutal, but humans had advantages the Zephyrians hadn't expected. "They're stronger than our intelligence reports indicated," a Zephyrian soldier reported before a human marine knocked him unconscious. "And faster," added another before disappearing under a tackle from Sergeant Yuna Kim. Dongwu reached the bridge just as Admiral Vexthor was ordering a retreat. "You!" the Zephyrian commander snarled. "This was supposed to be easy." "Nothing involving humans is easy," Dongwu replied, pointing his weapon at the alien. "Order your fleet to surrender." "Never." The fight for the bridge lasted 20 minutes. When it was over, Admiral Vexthor was dead, and his flagship was under human control. The loss of their command ship threw the Zephyrian fleet into chaos. "This is Captain Bay to all coalition forces," Hyun-woo broadcast on all frequencies. "The Zephyrian command structure is broken. Press the attack." The The remaining Zephyrian ships tried to retreat, but they had lost too much fuel to reach their bases. One by one, they surrendered or were destroyed. Of the 800 ships that had attacked New Geneva, fewer than 100 escaped. The cost to humanity was terrible. Only 18 human ships survived the battle, and most of those were badly damaged. Thousands of Earth's best warriors were dead or wounded. But New Geneva was safe. 2 billion people owed their lives to the small human fleet that had stood against impossible odds. The coalition leadership was amazed. "How did 47 ships defeat 800? Admiral Rentok asked. "They didn't defeat 800 ships," replied Dr. Yunsu Kong, who had returned to treat the wounded. "They held out long enough for strategy and courage to defeat the enemy." Admiral Dongwu, injured but alive, sat in the medical bay of a coalition hospital ship. His second-in-command, Captain Bay, brought him a report. "Sir, Earth Command is asking for our status." "Tell them the mission is complete," Dongwu replied, "and tell them we need reinforcements." "Reinforcements are already on the way, sir. Lots of them." Dongwu smiled despite his injuries. Earth had been preparing for this war longer than anyone knew. The Battle of New Geneva was just the beginning. As news of the human victory spread across the galaxy, other species began to understand something important. Humans might be new to space, but they were not new to war. And when they fought to win. The Zephyrian Empire sued for peace within days of their defeat at New Geneva. But the galaxy was about to learn that Earth's true strength had not yet been revealed. The victory at New Geneva made humans famous across the galaxy, but it also made them targets. Admiral Dongwu spent 2 months recovering from his injuries, while the remaining human ships hunted down scattered Zephyrian forces. The Coalition offered Earth full membership and access to their most advanced technology. Captain Seonmi Park, Earth's chief of naval intelligence, arrived at Coalition headquarters with news that would shock the galaxy. She requested a private meeting with the Coalition Council, bringing data files that had been classified at the highest levels. "Honored representatives," she began, "there are things about Earth's military capabilities that we haven't shared with you." The alien leaders looked puzzled. Admiral Rentok spoke first. "You've proven your courage at New Geneva. What more is there to know?" Seonmi activated a holographic display showing the Sol system. "What you've seen so far is our scout force. The ships that fought at New Geneva were never meant to be our main fleet." The display showed massive construction sites around Earth's planets, orbital shipyards that stretched for thousands of miles, factory complexes on the Moon and Mars, mining operations in the asteroid belt that fed raw materials to production facilities. "We've been building a real fleet since our first contact with you 6 months ago," Seonmi continued. "Actually, we started building before that." War leader Thekros leaned forward in his chair. "How long before?" 2 years ago, our deep space telescopes detected signs of your civilization. We knew we weren't alone in the galaxy. Earth's governments decided we needed to be ready for anything. Dr. Chang-Ho Kim, director of Earth's Strategic Defense Initiative, joined the briefing by holographic projection from Earth. His image showed a tired man who had been working without rest for months. "The Terra Fleet construction program has been our highest priority since we learned about galactic civilization," he explained. "Every resource Earth could spare went into building ships." The alien representatives looked at each other with growing amazement and concern. "How many ships are we talking about?" asked the Veltari ambassador. 11 full battle fleets," Chang-Ho replied calmly, "each one larger than your entire coalition navy." The silence in the room was complete. Admiral D. Rentok finally found his voice. "That's impossible. No single planet could build that many ships." Commander Boram Lee, Earth's deep space reconnaissance specialist, provided the answer. "Earth isn't a single planet anymore. We've turned our entire solar system into a military production facility." The holographic display showed the scope of human industrial might. Mars had been converted into a ship construction center. The asteroid belt was being mined by thousands of automated systems. Jupiter's moons housed fuel refineries and weapons factories. Saturn's rings provided raw materials for armor plating. "Your species works together in ways we've never seen," observed the tree-like alien representative. "Most worlds fight among themselves. Humans fight as one people. Captain Sionmi nodded. When we learned about the galaxy's dangers, every nation on Earth agreed to work together. We've spent 2 years turning our entire civilization into a war machine. But why? Asked Admiral Rentok. Why build such a massive fleet? Because we didn't know what we'd find out here, replied Vice Admiral Kyung-Soo Nam, appearing on another holographic display. We prepared for the worst-case scenario. The worst-case scenario, it turned out, was exactly what they had found. A galaxy divided between peaceful traders and aggressive empires, with constant warfare and the threat of extinction always present. The ships that fought at New Geneva were just our advanced scouts, Kyung-Soo explained. We sent them to learn about galactic warfare while our main fleets finished construction. The aliens began to understand the true scope of what Earth had accomplished. While they had been impressed by 47 human ships, Earth had actually built over 2,000 vessels in the same time period. Each of our battle fleets is designed for different purposes, continued Chang Ho from Earth. The First Terra Fleet specializes in planetary assault. The Pacific Fleet handles deep space operations. The Atlantic Fleet provides mobile defense. We have fleets for every type of warfare. Commander Bo-Ram added tactical details that made the aliens even more nervous. Our ships are designed to work together in ways your technology can't match. They can share power, ammunition, and even crew members in the middle of battle. And they're all crewed by humans? War Leader Thekros asked. Every ship, every station, every weapon, Bo-Ram confirmed. We have over 1 million people trained for space warfare. The Coalition representatives struggled to process this information. The species they had thought of as newcomers were actually the most militarily powerful force in known space. Where are these fleets now? Asked the Veltari ambassador. Spread throughout our solar system, completing final preparations, Seonmi replied. But they can be deployed anywhere in Coalition space within days. Admiral Rentok asked the question. Everyone was thinking. Why are you telling us this now? Because the Zephyrian Empire hasn't given up, Commander Bo-Ram answered. Our intelligence networks show they're gathering the remnants of their fleet for one final attack. They think the Coalition is weak after New Geneva. The holographic displays showed Zephyrian ship movements across multiple star systems. The survivors of their invasion force were being reinforced by vessels from their home territories. Within weeks, they would have nearly 600 ships ready for battle. They're planning to attack the Coalition capital world, Seonmi revealed. They believe one decisive victory will force you to surrender. Can our combined fleets stop them? Admiral Rentok asked. Your fleets? Probably not, Kyung-Soo answered, honestly. But you won't be fighting alone. The alien leaders looked at each other again. They were beginning to realize that their relationship with humanity was about to change dramatically. Admiral Dongwu's recovery fleet is already moving to intercept advanced Zephyrian scouts, Seonmi reported. But for the main battle, Earth is sending appropriate forces. How many ships? War Leader Thekros asked quietly. All of them, Chang Ho replied from Earth. Every fleet we've built, every ship we can field, it's time to end this war permanently. The Coalition representatives sat in stunned silence. They had asked for Earth's help against the Zephyrian Empire. They hadn't expected Earth to reveal itself as the galaxy's new superpower. There's one more thing, Seonmi added. Fleet Admiral In-Soo Han will be taking personal command of the operation. He's Earth's most experienced combat commander. We've never heard of him, Admiral Rentok said. You wouldn't have, Seonmi replied with a slight smile. He's been busy building the largest fleet in galactic history. As the meeting ended, the alien leaders struggled with a new reality. They had welcomed humans as junior partners in the galactic community. Now they realized that Earth might be the strongest military force any of them had ever encountered. The galaxy was about to witness something unprecedented, the full might of human military power unleashed in defense of their allies. In space, docks around Earth, massive ships began moving toward hyperspace jump points. The largest fleet in galactic history was about to emerge from Earth's solar system. The final battle began in the Proxima Centauri system, where the Zephyrian Empire had built their forward command base. Supreme Admiral Kethvor commanded nearly 600 ships, the largest force his empire had ever assembled. He was confident that this attack would crush the coalition once and for all. Their human allies saved them once, he told his officers. But those ships were destroyed at New Geneva. The coalition stands alone now. The coalition had managed to gather 300 ships from across their territory. It was the largest fleet they had ever assembled, but everyone knew it might not be enough. Admiral Dongwu, recovered from his injuries, commanded the mixed alien and human force from the bridge of a new coalition flagship. "All ships, maintain formation," he broadcast to the fleet. "Remember, we just need to hold until reinforcements arrive." "What reinforcements?" asked Captain Veltris of the Veltari cruiser Bright Star. "This is everyone we have left." Dongwu smiled but didn't answer. He had received a coded message from Earth Command just hours before. The message contained only 2 words. Almost there. The Zephyrian fleet approached in a massive wedge formation. Their ships had been rebuilt and upgraded since New Geneva, with heavier armor and more powerful weapons. Supreme Admiral Kethavor intended to overwhelm the coalition through pure force. "Begin the attack," he ordered. "Show them that the Zephyrian Empire cannot be defeated." The battle started with a massive exchange of long-range fire. Energy beams and missiles filled the space between the two fleets. Coalition ships scattered and regrouped, using every trick they had learned from their human allies. Captain Ji-hoon, Nam's destroyer Incheon Striker, led a group of fast attack ships against the Zephyrian flanks. His tactics had been copied by alien crews, and now mixed squadrons of human and coalition vessels struck like wasps against the larger enemy formation. The fighting was fierce, but the Zephyrians had the advantage in numbers and firepower. Coalition. Ships began taking heavy damage. Admiral Dongwu watched his fleet slowly being pushed back toward the outer planets. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we've lost 50 ships. At this rate, we won't last another hour." That's when the hyperspace portals began opening. The first sign was a distortion in space itself, like heat waves rising from hot pavement. Then tears in reality appeared, growing larger and larger. Through each portal, something massive was coming through. "What is that?" Supreme Admiral Kethavor demanded. His sensor officer's voice shook as he reported, "Ships, sir. Lots of ships. More ships than I've ever seen." The first Terra fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation. 250 vessels arranged, in precise battle lines, led by the massive dreadnought Terra Invictus. Admiral Jinwoo Song's flagship was larger than any ship in the Zephyrian fleet, but that was just the beginning. The Pacific Fleet appeared next, commanded by Vice Admiral Haewon Kim from the carrier Midway Rising. Her ship specialized in fighter, operations, and thousands of small attack craft poured from her vessels like angry bees. The Atlantic Fleet followed, then the Mediterranean Fleet, then fleets named after Earth's continents and oceans. Each one was a complete battle force capable of conquering entire star systems. Supreme Admiral Kethavor watched in horror as human fleet after human fleet emerged from hyperspace. "How many ships do they have?" he whispered. The answer came from Fleet Admiral In Su-han, whose voice broadcast on all frequencies from the command ship Sol Invictus. "Enough." The Sol Invictus was not just a ship, it was a mobile battle station the size of a small moon. Its construction had been Earth's greatest secret project. The vessel carried its own factories, repair,